Do you suffer from painful, heavy periods, PMS, mood swings, or migraines? Are you tired of being told they are just normal parts of life? Or are you afraid your child's going to suffer these symptoms too? At Vividus, the full of life company, we take the pain, misery, and confusion out of those menstrual cycles and replace them with tools of empowerment and time management so you can be Vividus. Visit embracingflowpodcast.com for more information on transforming your cycles from ow to wow.
Ever felt frustrated being told PMS, heavy bleeding, and cramping are just normal parts of life? You're not alone. I loathed my monthly cycle for decades. That all changed when I earned 3 health coaching certifications discovering something incredible. Your period is vital. It is an outward sign of your inner health, and it holds the key to unlocking your full potential. I've been there battling heavy, painful periods, and I turn them into cycles with minimal PMS and cramping. Today, I'm on a mission to share that information with you. Pour a cup of your favorite drink, get comfy, and grab your headphones as we embark on a candid and empowering journey of self-discovery. Together, we'll demystify menstrual cycles, explore cyclical living, delve into natural birth control, and guide parents through those crucial period talks with tweens and teens. It's time to break the taboo around menstruation and embrace the wisdom it holds. I'm your host, Heather Allmendinger, and this is the Embracing Flow podcast.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Embracing Flow. I'd like to reintroduce our guest today, Coach Barb. She is an expert at embracing flow. Welcome back, Coach Barb. How are you?
Oh, Heather, I am so excited and so pumped up for today. I can't hold it in.
I know. You were on episode 3 and episode 11 of Embracing Flow. So if you have missed Coach Barb in the past, you need to go back and listen to her episodes. They are absolutely amazing. So much impactful information in those episodes. So go back and listen to them and find out more about Coach Barb, everything that she's done. But let's just find out a little tiny bit. I'm going to give you a tiny little bit of what Coach Barb and what she's done and what she's been doing. Coach Barb is the host of the #1 internationally rated podcast, The Kid Factor. She is a best-selling author, former Division I athlete, former world record holder, an athletic and business coach. She is here today to share her knowledge and expertise with athletes, coaches, parents, and support staff in the areas of athletic performance and menstrual cycles. I am just thrilled that you're here because there is a reason why she has returned again. Coach B and I have decided to embrace flow and share it with athletes. And I'm going to let her kind of share a little bit more on this collaboration that we are getting into. Coach V, what are we doing?
Not even getting into. We are full blown in it. Oh, my word. Heather, thank you. And I am thrilled to call you my friend. And today, even more excited and thrilled to call you my business partner. After being on your show previously, we had so many long conversations after our interviews, and we realized this international need that wasn't being met for female athletes. And my years as an athlete, my years as a coach, my years as a woman, realizing that every athletic performance I had, I was somewhere within my cycle. And without knowing it, I was able to balance the positive and sometimes the negative aspects of my menstrual cycle as an athlete to enhance my performance. But one of the big things that we've shared and we've talked to, and now we've talked to hundreds of coaches and other athletes in all different sports, Nobody's doing what we are now doing out there in teaching and training athletes, coaches, athletic directors, parents, and all of the support staff that go along with it, including the medical industry, on how to help and assist female athletes to embrace their flow, to better understand their cycle, and in putting all of those aspects together, elevating their performance to become faster, be able to perform better, and to be able to up level everything that they're doing. So, Heather, I don't know where else to start, but to let everybody know how thrilled we are in this business venture that we have going on, and some of the unique aspects of it that will help athletes at all different levels, and like what I do in the kid factor, help athletes to fund their athletic aspirations.
Yeah, it has been so far an absolutely amazing journey going through this with you and hearing about how you embraced flow as an athlete, but didn't realize you were embracing flow as an athlete. You
Right.
embraced flow as a coach and worked with your athletes in their flow and kind of knew it, but didn't really know it. You just knew what you knew from your experience.
Well,
And
it
now we're
wasn't
bringing it out to everybody else, to all female athletes.
right. And what I did was not as structured as what you and I are doing. And that's the big difference, is that we now have a full-fledged structured program. And when we meet with athletes, when we meet with coaches, athletic directors, or even parents, we have a system to help educate and empower our athletes and everyone and everything that goes into an athlete's athletic performance, including how to talk about it with the rest of the team, how to enhance the entire team's flow depending on the type of sport you're dealing with.
Yeah. That we do. It's being able to focus sport specific, seasonal specific. We are able to help athletes that are single athletes, uh, single sport athletes, double sport athletes, triple sport athletes. So athletes that are doing three different sports, several seasons, able to help them understand what's going on inside their bodies, know what is normal, typical for them, what is atypical for them, and doing it potentially without the use of prescriptions if they so choose, and educating on how the prescriptions can affect their performance. So they make those decisions for themselves and know what those medications actually do to our bodies during menstruation and through that entire cycle.
Absolutely. And one of the big keys is that what you mentioned, being educated. We are using scientific data. We have research studies that support everything that we bring to our athletes and the athletic programs that they work with. And I think one of our biggest challenges is working with athletes and coaches and helping them to personalize some of the workouts. If you're working with team and as a coach, you have a team of softball players, how do you change the workout to fit these athletes' needs when they're in this portion of their cycle on the same day that these athletes are in this portion of their cycle? And a third group of your athletes are in another totally different portion of their cycle. And it's not, and you mentioned it in the past, we're not coming into this and telling the athletes, oh, suck it up, buttercup. You know,
No, no, we are
we're not
not.
doing that. But we are personalizing and helping coaches to understand how to personalize a workout to best suit the current day, workout, or game of an athlete, depending on where she is in her flow.
Without really changing the actual workout schedule or workout program.
Right.
It's modification of what's in place. It's looking where your athletes are at and seeing how to best support them where they are within their cycle. Because when you do, their performance will improve. You are setting new PR records every 14 days. You had a 28-day cycle. Every 14 days, you had a new PR record because you
Right.
tracked and you knew what was going on, not necessarily in detail in your body, but you noticed a pattern because of your tracking. You were setting a new PR every 14 days. And that now we have a structure for coaches and support staff and athletes to be able to journal that and see their progress and see that how their cycle does play a major role in their athletics and how they can use that to be faster and better and perform at higher levels than what they currently are.
Right. And, one of the things that I really want our listeners to know is that we are working with young athletes pre puberty. And there are signs that, and you can share a few of the stories where there are signs that you can say, I think she's about to start her period and she has no idea what's going on. Parents are frustrated or coaches are pulling their hair out because they have no idea what's going on in that hormonal change. But here, as we have in our program, here's the checklist. Are you seeing this, that, and maybe this?
Yeah.
Well, not only do we have the checklist, but we also have the antidote to what to do when you see those types of behaviors or those attitudes and those moods and things like that. And
Yeah.
you don't have to banish the athlete like what has happened throughout history when women were banished from the tribe, banished from the environment of the community while they were on their cycle or in certain aspects, certain points of their cycle.
Yep. Yeah. I see it with my neighbor. She has a young daughter. I noticed from the beginning of school year to just in the first quarter of the school year, she changed. And I asked her mom, "How are things going at home?" And she's like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so frustrated with her. She's moody. She's this, she's that." And I kind of hesitantly looked at her and I said, I've noticed just some things being at the bus stop with her. Uh, She is in early puberty." And the mother looked at me like, "I am not ready for this. She's not even 9. She's not going to be 9 for a few more months. What are you telling me this?" Puberty, pre-puberty, it all starts about a year and a half to 2 years before first menarche, which is the first period. So it takes about 2 years just to get that first period. It takes about another year to 2 years for our cycles to regulate. So during that first year to first 2 years, no more than 2 years. If it's over 2 years, there's some hormonal imbalances and talk to a medical professional. Usually within the first year, it becomes regular. There's the regularity, but there's also need to look at how heavy is it? How painful is it? Um, because those are outward signs of our inner health. It is telling us if we could potentially have an insulin resistance issue going on. It could indicate if there is an estrogen dominant hormonal issue going on. Our bodies communicate with us every single day. And when we know this, and this is what we're sharing with parents, athletes, coaches, support staff, we're sharing this with them so they can see this in their athletes. Parents can see this in their children. And it's an understanding, and they can come together as more of a community and go, okay, we know what's going on, and you have the tools. So that way it's not as big your parents aren't ready to pull their hair out, coaches aren't ready to pull their hair out or bench their athletes because of a bad attitude. And athletes actually understand why they're feeling the way they're feeling. And later in life, and as later teens, they're understanding more of their hormones and why they're feeling what they're feeling towards other athletes or other people in school. They are knowing what serotonin does. They're understanding what dopamine does. They're understanding what adrenaline does, oxytocin. They're understanding some of these hormones make us feel more than what's actually there.
Those are it's so important for our athletes to know. And we've spoken to even friends of ours who are well past their menstrual cycle, well into menopause. And even they, some of them were athletes, but even today, they don't realize that even once they are, and these, some of the athletes that we're still working with who are already in menopause, they don't realize the cycle they're still going through.
Yep. They are still, even when the outward release of the endometrial lining ends. So we are in menopause. Once we are in menopause, we still have that energy cycle. And understanding the different energies within that cycle from pre-puberty all the way through the time we leave this earth, you can plan so many things in flow with your weeks, your month, and even your year. And we are teaching this to our athletes. We are teaching this to the coaches. We are teaching this to the support staff, the parents. Moms are going to have so many aha moments in their lives just with their daughters going through this, what we offer. It's going to be so many aha moments, and there's going to be a connection. So moms are going to be able to connect with their athletes in a way that may not be possible right now because you don't understand. And that in and of itself is a beautiful thing.
So let me ask you this, and this is one of the questions that we have heard as we're rolling this out to so many coaches and programs, athletic directors, who can benefit from our program and why?
Athletes, coaches, regardless of gender, support staff, parents, teachers, counselors, medical professionals. You name it, they can benefit from it. I explain this to my son, my older son, by understanding the female reproductive system. It will allow you to be a better friend, a better parent, a better partner, a better coworker, a better leader. That leader part was what really piqued his interest. You knowing this can allow you to be a better leader. And it is something that every single individual on this planet would be very beneficial to know.
And I want to explain what we mean by support staff. The support staff are the athletic trainers, maybe a massage therapist, an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, that anybody and everybody that supports the athlete or the team, when they know and understand all of what we share and what we instruct our athletes and everybody to know, that support staff can create better support, not only for one female athlete, but for the entire team.
Yep.
So, and one of the other groups that we are really focused on, and I'm excited and proud to be able to bring this to the community, are our Special Olympians and the athletes that participate and the coaches that coach, regardless of the age. I know the conversations from pre-puberty on can sometimes be difficult for everyone, but there's an added lack and support in the area of Special Olympics. There's an added lack and support for some of the athletes that I've worked with, the wounded warriors and the Special Olympians, and working with their coaches and helping them to better understand some of the conversations that might need to take place in explaining what's going on within your body. Why are you having these experiences and these feelings? And but like you mentioned, the outward signs of that inner health, when we're able to provide our support staff, our coaches, our parents to have the right conversations with all of our female athletes, for them to be able to better understand that. That is something that I and you, I know, we're so proud of, that we're able to bring this to a revolutionary movement in women's athletics.
You had we had briefly touched on your experience prior to us connecting. Would you be open to sharing how you took what you did with your basketball team, what you did with your swim team, putting some of these pieces in place, and why you know from experience this works?
Absolutely. One of the stories that I do share is watching, and we'll go with basketball first, because on the court we have 5 athletes. And when they communicate well together, it is a beautiful art, a beautiful dance. And when they're in sync, amazing. But when one athlete is out of whack and doesn't know why, it can pit athlete against athlete, coach against athlete. And when that happens, and the athlete might be like, I have no idea what's going on. And watching those athletes struggle needlessly, but then to educate them and say, hey, what's going on? I don't know. Where are you in your cycle? Oh. And then those light bulbs go off. And for a coaching staff and for the other teammates, here's the cool part. Every teammate is going to go through that at some point during the month. And if they cut a little slack, if they give a little grace to their teammates and we show them how many days you're going to be in this cycle, how many days this might last, when might you see this coming on, or when might you be out of that phase. When we share that with a team, the light bulbs go off. And when we share it with the coaches, male coaches and female coaches, the female coaches are some of the coaches that are like, holy cow, where have I been all my coaching career, all my athletic career? Why on earth are you guys the first ones bringing this to our attention? And how can we better implement that in and on our teams? The other really big thing, and I know you've gotten this in your experience, when athletes are saying, what do I do when I don't have my period? My track and my distance swimmers, my distance runners often did not have a period. But again, we go back to that outward sign of inner health. We as a javelin thrower, and what we always called our throwers bovines, because we were always the animals out in the field playing in the field. Well, when the bovines heard that the runners, some of them, not all of them, didn't have a period, holy cow, we were so jealous. But what are some of the aspects that someone without their period, not because of medical induced medically, but they're just not having their period, what are some of the negative aspects that they could think about when they don't have their period that I am grateful I'm not jealous of anymore?
That is sometimes a sign of a hormonal imbalance. It could be that they are missing vital nutrients that they need through their food. It could be that they there are two major hormones. 12 are involved in the ovulatory menstrual cycle of the 50 known hormones in the body. The two big ones are estrogen, progesterone. You hear about that. Those are the yin and yang of the cycle. If they're missing their cycle, that's a good indication that they didn't ovulate. Without ovulation, that it indicate there's brain health issues that can develop, bone health issues that can develop, um, kidney, liver, thyroid. It is there. All hormones in the cycle are extremely important and all play a vital role. It's a symphony. And when you're missing one of those, your body's saying something's not right.
Mhm.
So it's very important that if you are missing a cycle, or if you look at your own cycle and you see 3 unusual cycles in a 12-month period, your body's telling you something. Um, an unusual cycle here or there, it happens. Our cycles change as we go through the reproductive continuum from pre-puberty through the end of our life, post-menopause, and through the end of our life. They change. So change is good. Change is okay. But if you see 3 or more cycles that are irregular in a 12-month period, that's an indication your body's really telling you something. That's like the 2x4. Because prior to the 2x4 to the head, you may be having those heavy cycles. You may be having those painful cycles. You may be missing cycles. You may be having irregular cycles. Your body's telling you something, and if you ignore it, it can lead to heart issues, insulin resistance, PCOS, endometriosis, many different things. Autoimmune diseases are sometimes even connected to our cycles. Metabolic diseases, high blood pressure, high cholesterol are linked to our menstrual cycles. And it's sometimes as early as our teens that we're seeing this.
Absolutely. And that brings me to sharing with everybody the book we've written and the journal. It's an not only an athletic training book and journal, but we help you look at and educate you on all of those things that you've just shared. What's regular, what's what's an irregular cycle look like? What's a regular cycle look like? And we walk you through that. And our journal is a 90-day journal, a 3-month program, which will also take most athletes during their training season. If they're a one sport athlete, it's going to take them from the beginning of training all the way through the end of their championship, depending on the sport. We are coming out with more books, and we are coming out with sport specific books. But right now, we're so excited and proud of our training journal because it helps you look at all the aspects that we talk about in our programs, but it helps you to personalize your own journal, your own journey through your athletics. And what are you doing for this? What are you eating here? And we have the information about what should you be eating during this portion of the cycle. And we have it as a 90-day, a 3-month program so that you can figure out that regulation over 3 months, what you're doing and how you're doing it. And so I'm really thrilled and excited about our journal.
I am very excited about our journal. I am very excited about the other books that we have in the pipeline. It's so far we have had so much fun.
And there's so much more to come.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness. And we're finding joy in it because we know how much this can help coaches. This can help your athletes. This can help so many individuals understand what's going on in their body so we can make the best decisions for us. It's a part of our life that we live with for 30, 40 years. And by having this information, it's a lifetime of knowledge that you can take and you can share it with your family. You can share it. I mean, this isn't something that you keep to yourself, that it's individualized, yes, but it is something that you can share with others and walk in this journey together, arm in arm in this community. And it is such a beautiful thing to watch grow.
It really is. And when we started, we wanted to make an impact and we wanted to help up level female athletes. And in doing so, in our programs, we're not only making an impact on enhancing an athlete's performance, but we're helping them mitigate. And this is what we're doing with coaches as well, because the cycle, we're able to help prevent injury and mitigate the injury risks and the different areas and times throughout the cycle when an athlete could be at a higher risk to injury. So we're bringing that to our coaches. We're educationally empowering our coaches, our athletes with valuable insights, both to the psychological and the physiological aspects of athletic performance and how the menstrual cycle adds to that. And when you know how to take care of that, how you're able to take care of that, of your cycle. The last two, we're so excited about our positive team environment that we're creating around the cycle, and also our delivery model. You mentioned it. We're working with athletes in rural school settings to the largest school settings in the school districts in the country and on the continent. But we offer a training that includes self-generating proprietary perpetual funding sources. Catch that, coaches and parents. Funding sources and scholarships that are available to our athletes and schools, because one of the things that we want to do and make an impact is there isn't a female athlete or athletic program that doesn't need what we're offering, and we can guarantee what we're offering is going to make you a better athlete, make your team a better team, take your team to the next level. If you're already a championship team, you're going to be a state championship team, a regional or a nationally recognized championship team or athlete, because you're taking this tool that's inherent to all female athletes and you're utilizing it for the betterment of your performances.
Yep. And you had mentioned about the perpetual income. If you happen to have an injury, this is still something you can do, have the potential of doing while you're healing, especially if you become that elite athlete. There's just so many benefits
We
with
have
what we offer.
we have a special program in place to help our athletes get paid for their knowledge and pay them and teach them how to start their own businesses, enhancing the lives of other athletes. If you're an athletic trainer and you're not an on the field, on the court athlete, you still qualify to work with us and let us help you to make that extra income in 16, 17, 18-year-olds. We're teaching you how to start your own business, and we're giving you talent and skills that are going to supply you for the rest of your lives. And that's a part of our giving back. So,
Yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Coach V, for for being here on Embracing Flow, sharing what we are doing, because you have articulated it so beautifully. If you're interested in knowing what we're doing, where to find us, you can check us out on Facebook, XX Strong. The links will be in the show notes. So thank you so much, listeners, for spending your time with us today. If you found a nugget of wisdom or a moment of empowerment, my mission is accomplished. Do you know someone who could benefit from this information? Please share Embracing Flow with them. Until next time, love hard, laugh often, and as always, be vividous. See you soon.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Embracing Flow. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow the show, submit a rating and review, and share it with your friends. Visit my website to receive your free PDF on 4 ways to decrease PMS. The link is in the show notes. Until next time, love hard, laugh often, and as always, be vividous.